desk, and it's quite interesting indeed that we have, you know, Niski and Elyoya now on other side of the rift, both taking on a new role in their career. As you know, that the fans are here to cheer as loud as they were yesterday. It's hard, you know, between the fan bases. I think Mad Lions Koi is also super loud, but we'll see what they decide to draft today.
So far, in terms of bans, if we look at the top side, the priors have been the likes of Rumble, Jax, probably Nocturne. There's been some LeBlanc bans. AD carry or bot lane, we have Ashe, we have Caitlyn, Kalista, and we'll see what these teams do, because generally there's no locked bans. Everybody has different approaches, and it really comes down to where blue side begins, I feel like, how they set the tone and draft, because red is usually going to be adaptive.
Yeah, I think a huge portion of it for me is like, things like Rumble probably going to be gone. Like, we've seen inklings of AP Udyr and stuff coming in the LPL to try and counter it, but haven't really seen it come across to Europe just yet. But I think getting rid of that, the Ashe, and I think, honestly, with how well Frescowi played on the AD LeBlanc, I think giving it, or leaving that open for him would just be so disrespectful after what you saw yesterday.
Yeah, and as we see first bans, of course, Jax ban quite fast, but in the other hand, there's Irrelevant in the enemy team, really good Jax player, completely understandable. Rambo from Red, pretty understandable too. There's Nocturne, also extreme nightmare right now with a new item, so... Oh, and here we have the LeBlanc, right? So everything seems pretty standard. One thing though is, there's not many... Oh, and there's Maokai, so there's a lot of AD carries open, and some of them can go to support, so I think there will be a lot around bot lane in this draft.
So if you were on blue side right now and you see there's not a single bot lane ban, what would you be looking for?
Oh, I think it depends on what you feel the most comfortable with, because I don't think there's a straight up best champion, but if Ashe and Varus are open, I think you might want to look... Okay, Ashe is banned. So now there's a question if you want to go Kalista. Maybe you wanna... Okay, you just go Xin Zao. Okay, that champion does look broken, and you take it away from Isma. That makes sense.
It does lead the question now, is the case of, hey, we want to try and go for a very similar style that we saw yesterday. Look, we have the strong jungler. Let's try and get a counter pick in the bottom side, see if we can get push there, and then we can go for what basically set us up for success. Yesterday's Mad Lions Koi, which was push bot, early levels, and then get control. We can lead that into the jungle, and I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, look, we won't see what it is at the moment, but I think that'll be the big plan here to go through a Mad Lions.
I feel like it might be even like Poppy or Renata. But on the other hand, I feel like right now maybe there's an angle when they just go Aphelios. Oh, there's a Renata, right? So maybe it's gonna be an actual Aphelios angle with a counter pick as an enchanter. Okay, we just go for Lucian. EU Lucian doesn't look as good sometimes, but I think it's a good champion. And in a pair with Milio, it gives a great setup and pretty much scaling for the side of blue side.
And this is actually the combo that I prefer. I think Nami, yes, you've got that engage tool, well, engage, disengage, whatever way you want to use it with the wave. I think Milio just makes you a very easy to, I want to go now. I'm going to shield you, I'm going to put down the cozy campfire, you get the extra range, and just helps Lucian significantly more in team fights where he can be more of a threat. And even as you see, like, Renata, great answer, the Milio, because you can get rid of that hostile takeover. Even if you end up with some of the CC that can come through from like Renata, or sorry, from a Rell Q, you've got that answer as well. So I think this is a great start for Mad Lions Koi, especially if they want to try and go for this aggressive bottom side.
So from what we've seen so far, on paper, Kalista Renata definitely would be the stronger bot lane duo. But Trimby, would you feel comfortable playing Lucian Milio into it? Do you think they can shut it down and have more impact?
I think it just depends how well you play first levels, especially level 1 and 2. I personally, when it comes to like Milio Renata side, Renata is the one that has to be like aggressive, right? But it's not like Milio cannot answer it back. It's just about how you play around her Q, right? Because if you actually get hooked, there is a high chance you're gonna die or make an enemy actually give an option to dive. Because as you can see, there's also Azir Rell coming in that most likely is gonna be a jungler, right? Like looking at it. Unless you're Wunder. I saw Wunder playing it top, so I don't know how it goes nowadays. But yeah, that's gonna be probably the look where they're gonna try to look for dives. And when it comes to bans as well, as we can see, like they're not gonna have many chances they played yesterday, Mad Lions Koi, because a lot of them actually get banned too in the second phase.
Yeah, I'm now curious to see what we're going to take into the jungle here for Isma, because it feels like that's going to be the next rotation. Or sorry, not the jungle, sorry. You're going to have to flip it between top and mid, actually, with Rell picked up. So I think it's going to be, well, we won't know whether
Cassandra,
it's going to be...
Maybe a little Cassandra, there's a little top lane bans.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what Irrelevant for me looked really strong and stuff like the sign that. So it is actually going to be Akali, but I think it is kind of a case of like leave Irrelevant to that counter pick because I think he's looked far more comfortable where he's able to go, hey, I can dominate the 1v1, and there is a lot of those just good mid laners open.
Oh, Poppy here is really good, to be fair. I'm actually shocked it went through the draft. Like, Poppy is so good into Kalista, it's so good into Rell, and it's really good into Akali. And I can... Okay, there's a Gragas by Frescove versus Niski. That's actually really spicy and interesting. I'm curious if it's just like a kind of a takeaway or...
I mean, you were actually talking about backstage for me for Cabo Shard, how well he was at like controlling the Akali yesterday, although it was like top versus mid. I think it's going to be a very similar story here of, look, I'm going to try and get push and just interrupt things.
Yeah, I like it. And on top of things, Mirm has a really good Poppy when it comes to like itemization. So that's something that I want to look at and see if there's going to be something spicy in there.
I think it was also smart by SK to 4-pick mid instead of top lane because Mervin is known for having a lot of spicy counter picks, something we talked a lot about yesterday. This way, you make sure that he's going to blind, get a stable top matchup that you're happy with for Irrelevant. And obviously, Poppy, so far, well, I don't even think we've gotten to see it. It's been permabanned.
Yeah.
But Renekton, traditionally, very good into it, and Irrelevant is going to be able to shut it down if he plays the early laning phase wall.
Cool. What's the most interesting lane you have your eyes on? Mid?
Oh, I would say there's gonna be a lot happening bot lane. I think mid, it depends how the laners play, to be fair, but yeah, bot lane is the one that I think SK has to do quite a bit in order to make sure that things go well, because if they don't try to do anything, Lucian, Milio, I would say they take over in this game with the help of Poppy, with the help of Xin Zao. I'm not sure how you get on that Lucian without, you know, like having to go through all of those front lines over there.
Yeah, also Ardent Abuser, so great. I think this is going to be wonderful. I think it's going to be great. I mean, pop it onto the Lucian, it's a bit silly, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing bot lane. But also, as you say, mid lane, I think it's going to be really curious to see how you can try and get control there as Frescowie, and then see if we get a similar style of what we got the Xin Zao, is that the combo once more.
Okay, let's see what happens. I'm already missing Hysterix' voice, so let's head over to our caster.
This is so kind. Thank you very much, and welcome to our second game.